As the project manager of an extensive 18 months construction project, you are faced with a unique budgeting challenge. The project's funding comes from government grant distributed in a strictly quarterly installment. These funds are required to be fully utilized within each quarter with no possibility of carrying over unused amount to a subsequent quarters. You have completed the cost estimation process only to discover that your project's critical spending phases do not synchronize with the timing of these funding installments. In the light of this situation or this constraint, how should you strategically develop the project budget to ensure financial compliance and project success? So let's explore the question first. So we have a government project, and the government is saying that every 3 months we will give you X amount of budget. Yeah. And you need to consume that amount of budget in that 3 months only. If anything remains unused, that will be taken away from your project execution, yeah, project budget. So that's a one restriction from the government. It's a constraint. In my side, when I figured it out and I was doing my project planning, I was not considering this restriction, and I may have a spending which might be happening some quarters high, some quarters less. And now I am confused. How do I match these two things? As a project manager, what should I do now where I have a project schedule which is not matching with these 3 months installment process? Yeah. So that's the question. Let's look at the option. Option A, formulate the budget based on detailed cost estimate and proactively engage with the grant provider to renegotiate the term, aiming to align them more closely with the project financial requirements. It could be an option. Yeah, definitely. It's a candidate option. It is more about let me go and negotiate with the government. Let me go and talk to them and probably explain them that please don't bring these kind of ideas to us and give me in a different way. Yeah. But practically speaking, I need to see other options because most of the cases I need to solve the problem rather than I ask other people to adjust it. And especially the context is showing grant, governments, and all. So very unlikely that I can negotiate there and change the government to give me budget approval the way I want. So yes, if we don't have a better option, we can go and negotiate and try to do our bit there. But let's see if we can get some option which says I will do my homework and manage the situation rather than hoping government to change their way of funding. Yeah? So we flag it, we go more forward. Option B, meticulously plan project activities and resource deployment to align major expenditure with the period of funding available, ensuring that each quarter financial allocation is fully and effectively utilized. Looks great. Yeah, so it is saying that I need to rework on my project schedule. I need to consider these funding limit reconciliations, and I need to replan my project activities in such a way so that each quarter I am consuming the available money. Yeah, great. Yeah, I don't think we can get a better option than this, but still we can explore others. But option B as of now looks great, and it is matching with our idea of funding limit reconciliation. Option C, strategically front load high cost activities into the earlier quarter, securing full funding for these critical tasks, and plan for more adaptable, lower cost activities in the later phase to manage potential funding shortfall. It could be an alternative which is a subset of B. Yeah. When we are doing project planning activities, we may decide to do the allocation of activities based on their criticality and based on the amount of money involved. But not necessarily this is the only strategy. It's not necessary that I have to do critical activities first and then leave the later the other activities later. So it's a good idea, but we have a better idea B, which includes probably this idea if needed. So we stick to B as of now. Let's see the option D. Allocate a substantial part of the project towards the contingency reserve, okay, specifically designed to address and smooth out the financial discrepancies arising between the periodic funding installments and the project's varied expense cycle. So from where this contingency reserve will come? Yeah, this can come from my company space, but the government is saying that the remaining amount will not be given to you, they will be taken away. So contingency is good, but the problem is not about contingencies here. Problem is about funding limit reconciliation here. Yeah, and in such a case, I don't know what would be that contingency reserve and who will approve for it. So probable thing, but it doesn't relate to the question which we have in discussion. So looking at all these ideas, the option B, which talks about, yes, I have my project schedule prepared, but it is not matching with the funding available from my stakeholders. And I need to align this to make sure that we have a reconciliation between our fund project schedule, project baselines, and the funding limits we have. That seems to be the best idea. So this particular question is tagged to our task 5 in a process domain: plan and manage budget and resources. So basically focusing on the topic which is focusing on funding limit reconciliation.